Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk to Gaius again after that wonderful emerald weapon trial. Severa is taking care of Allie, but it may be some time until her nerves have settled. If the vision you witness is indeed true, Alphonse and Rex locked her away for her own safety. When she is ready, I would know more of what her brother hopes to achieve and why he must resort to such desperate measures. Allie's condition has improved somewhat, but she remains in a state of shock. Let's give her more time to recover. There was one other thing that I thought you should know. When we checked for injuries, we saw that her back is covered in welts and bruises. Who did this to her? It seems she was subjected to beatings on a regular basis, judging by the varied stages of bruising. I dare say this was the work of her Garlanian masters. You speak as though you've seen this before. Seen? I have lived through it myself. I was born in Welt 23 summers past. My mother was a local woman, but my father was a pure-blooded Garlanian and a member of the occupying forces. Though I know very little about him, his rank afforded me imperial citizenship. His acknowledgement of our family ties was the extent of the responsibility he took for bringing me into this world. Still, it is more than can be said for most of his ilk. My brother and I were shunned by the people of Welt, who treated us as badly as the Garlanians did, if not worse. That if I were to become an imperial soldier, my position might somehow deter those who would cast scorn at my mother, if only out of fear, and so I joined the army. The acceptance I earned was but temporary, however, and my superiors were quick to blame any perceived shortcomings on my savage lineage. Rather than waste time on official court-martials, they administered their own form of corporal punishment. I was eventually assigned to the 12th Legion and fought under Xenos Jan Gavas and Alamigo. In the chaos that followed our defeat, I seized the opportunity to flee to Welt. Well, it was never much of a home, it was all I had, but nothing could prepare me for what awaited. My mother had for many years suffered from poor health and relied on medicine to keep her alive. In my absence, the Garleans had denied her treatment, claiming it would be wasted on savages. By the time I could return to her side, there was naught I could do. There was nothing left for me in Welt. I would be punished for desertion if the Imperials discovered the reason for my return. I was never accepted by my so-called countrymen to begin with. I ran as far as my legs could carry me. It was then that I met Gaius. So that is the truth of it. Other than a few scant details, I know none of your past. It sickens me to think that I once fought under the same banner as such vile creatures. I'd always believed it was the duty of the strong to lead the weak, yet there are those who become drunk on the power afforded by their station, and prey on the ones that they should protect. Like a canker, this corruption has spread to every part of the Empire. Even those of Garlanian blood, such as myself, are subjected to their cruelty. They hold particular contempt for the Ura, an easy target for abuse being so few in number. Perhaps like me, Allie thought she could be spared such treatment when she joined the army, alas. I only hope that with time, Allie can put her past behind her and make a new life for herself, but for now, all we can do is wait for Garlanium to subside. It is Volderlin's turn to keep watch. Let us ask him if there's been any change. Alright, let's see what's going on then. I suppose you're here to ask about Allie. Is she well enough to speak with us? As her condition has improved somewhat, I would say so, provided that you do not cause any undue distress. Wait here. Ellie, I'm sorry. What happened to Rex? It was my fault. And Ascendia and Recon too. They died because of me and my foolish ambitions. Father, no. This cannot go on. Please, Allie, you must tell me all you know. Of course. First, I need to know what became of you and your siblings after we were parted. So much has happened, it seems like a lifetime ago. After your disappearance, we were all assigned to the newly reformed 7th Legion. At first, each legatus was quickly replaced by the next, until eventually a man named Valles von Varro was given command. He was sent from the capital, but before that he was a specialist in experimental magitech weaponry. We later discovered that he was ordered by Emperor Varus to complete a project involving anti-primal war mechana, the weapons. But after the Emperor's death, he was free to employ whatever methods he saw fit, and his greed for power only grew. Some even say he was planning to use the power of the weapons to lay claim to the throne. But I think there is another reason for his obsession with the weapon project. Not that he ever tell anyone, but he's always muttering to himself, and I've been able to put the pieces together. He's jealous of you, Father. Valles von Varro, I must admit, it was only recently that I first heard that name. Valens used his knowledge of magitech to devise various military strategies. He was given a position in the army and quickly rose through the ranks. That was until one man stood in the way. You, Father. He was one of the candidates to lead the new 14th Legion, but that role fell to you. After that, he was assigned to serve under a far more gifted engineer, Nero, who was in charge of restoring the Ultima weapon. Valles has resented you ever since, going as far to oppose the ideals you upheld. Where you treated those who serve the Empire based on merit rather than on their race or origin, Valens is adamant that pure-blooded Garlinians are superior to all others. It never ceases to amaze me how far some will go in the name of revenge. All that hatred festering away, nothing good can ever come of it. So the marks on your body are his handiwork. Yes, to Valens and his men, we are nothing more than fodder for his experiments. Playthings on which they can vent their frustrations. Every day is filled with nothing but pain. If I had remained in Garlemald, you would never have been forced to endure this abuse. It's not your fault, Father. We could have fled from Valens if we wanted to. After all, we're expendable and easily replaced. The truth is, that's exactly why we couldn't run. In stepping ourselves, we would be condemning others, but if we stay to see the weapon project to its completion, we would gain the power to defeat Valens, and then the Empire itself, freeing the world from its tyranny. That way we might start afresh and find a place we can call home, and not just for us, but for anyone who wishes to live in peace. You would give your lives for a future you may not live to see. We took courage from your teachings, Father. The strong must lead the weak, and we could gain that strength by whatever means necessary. We'll fight for the sake of those who cannot. But we knew that you'd never consent to our participation in the weapon project, which is why we couldn't turn to you for help. As the pilots, we're the only ones who are able to stop Valens. We know just how powerful the weapons are. He would use them to bring the world to its knees. And his masterpiece is the worst of all. If I only get my hands on it, then I could save Alphonse and all of Welt. Father, I know you and Alphonse stand on opposing sides of this conflict, but there must be some way you can help him. He may have called you an enemy before, but he never meant it. He still loves you, Father. You are everything he aspires to be. I have failed him, failed you all. But I refuse to abandon him to his fate. I will free him from Valens, if it is the last thing I do. Thank you. He needs you now more than ever. Listen, Ally. I once sought the strength to rebuild the world I saw fit, but the ultimate weapon was born not to create but to destroy. Alphonse must not follow my footsteps. I know all too well where they lead. I'll do all I can to help your brother. Pray, tell me where he is. He's... I'm sorry, I don't know where he could be. In that case, I shall have the Alliance dispatch scouts. Wherever he is, we'll find him. As for you, Ally, you must stay here and rest. Wait, you're the one who fought Rex, Recon, and Mencilia, aren't you? We're the ones who threatened your homeland. You only did what you had to do. I have no right to ask this of you, but... lend my father your strength. Save Alphonse. I know now why they call you hero. Alphonse, I'll do what I must to free you, even if it means going against Father's wishes. I have a good feeling about his new friend. Severa, see that she has everything she needs. Our allies must be informed of these troubling events. May I ask you to relay this news to the troops in Girabana? Your loving father act may fool the others, guys, but not me. For every life you've saved, you've ended 1,000 more. Or is this your idea of redemption? Call it what you will. For all my transgressions, I believe I still have a part to play. Was I wrong to spare you that day, or will you honor your word? It seems the time has come for the Black Wolf to show his true colors. Okay, where are we heading here? Back to Girabania. Here's our nice officer. Recently we received word of your victory over the Emerald Weapon. I expect it was another fine display on your part, not that any of us were there to see it. For that reason, we'd be grateful if you give us a blow-by-blow account, if you wouldn't mind. Good grief, it sounds like you had an awful lot to contend with. Rather you than me. Ahem, I shall add this to our ever-glowing stack of reports. Should anyone wish to review this information ahead of the next sortie? If you may say so, it looks like your ordeals have taken their toll. We'll let you know if anything requires your attention, but until then, be sure to get some rest. Alright, we should have another quest in between this trial and the next. Three weapons, three pitiful displays of inaptitude. Ouch. To make matters worse, one of my prime candidates, your precious sister, no less, has escaped. And who should she go crawling to but that swine Gaius? After everything I've done for her, and this is how she repays me. As your older brother, it's your responsibility to instill some discipline in her, and you failed miserably. Excuse me. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Of course, it's your first time, isn't it? Come along now, there's no need to be shy. You see, something wicked has taken hold of this young man, and it's our job to cleanse his troubled spirit. It may look painful, but it's the only way, I assure you. You'll be ever so grateful, and you want him to get better, don't you? That's a good boy. Now let's try again, shall we? Burn out the bad. Burn out the bad. Well done! You've all made Father proud. Very proud indeed. As for you... I thought you were cut above the rest of the savages, but it appears I was mistaken, and since you allowed that wretched sister of yours to escape, it falls to you to act as her replacement. I chose you as the next pilot, and your mission is simple. Kill Gaius Van Belzar, whatever it takes. If you so much as entertain the idea of betraying me again, I'll exterminate every last one of your kind. Like the vermin they are. Having said that, we will be forcibly initiating Oversoul using Xenos' combat data, so whatever schemes you may be hatching will never come to pass. All you need to do is sit back and let the synthetic oversight system do the work, with you as its conduit. You should thank me for allowing you to become part of my masterpiece. Your worthless existence will finally have some semblance of meaning. Note of Valens. Preparations for the Oversoul trial are complete. We await your orders. Splendid. There's never a dull moment around here. Now then, boys, we'd like to see something special. Come along, everyone. Father has secrets to share with you. Just like a passive check to see if he was even still alive. This is my chance, and it's all thanks to sacrifices made by my dear siblings. Finally, the weapon will be mine to command. Once it has reached perfection, I'll be unstoppable. First Valens and the Empire itself will fall, and we'll be free at last. Father, keep Allie safe. Incendia, Recon, Rex, I'll see this through the end, I promise. Until then, watch over me. So, is it ready or not? The tri-sequence has been primed, sir. Then get on with it. Initiating synthetic orosite system, loading diamond weapon simulation. So diamond is the last one. What's going on? You're helping us with a little research is all. Whatever your name is. Time has come for you to contribute to the glory of Galamad. This isn't what we agreed. You said that if I took part in the experiment, you'd let my family go. You have Xenos' data loaded, yes? Activate Oversoul and be quick about it. Understood, Lord Valens. Galvus combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override. My mind is, no, if this is what it takes to protect you both, I love you. I'm so sorry. Where is my prey? Organic core override complete. Xenos Young Gava's data loaded. The subject is distinctly bound to seek out prey, right from the onset. Regardless of the combat prowess it may boast, I need an obedient servant, not a rivalrous beast. Enough, shut it down. Deactivating synthetic orosite system. How revolting, and what a mess it makes of the cockpit. Just the settings to prepare for another run. Fortunately, we have the next test subject ready and waiting. But sir, he agreed to release his family in exchange for his cooperation. My, I never knew you had such a wonderful sense of humor. The great Valens von Varro, bargaining with savages? Ha, more fool him for trusting me in the first place. Alright. We're back here, and ready to talk to this person again. Oh, no, I was hoping that I might have a word with you. Ever since Turncliffe was liberated, we've been sending troops to aid in getting the town back on its feet, helping the residents, that sort of thing. We Ellen Megan saw how hard life can be, and a society struggling to stand on its own after years of imperial rule. A lot of what most people would take for granted has been rebuilt from the ground up. While we're able to assist when it comes to providing basic resources and keeping this place safe, there are countless other problems that need attending to. If you could spare the time, we could use your help. Bless you, Narn, you really are a saint. I'm sure the people of Turncliffe will benefit from having someone like you around. Once you're ready, have a word for your usual escort. I wish you all the best. Alright, we'll go ahead and head off this way then. Yeah, let's check with the Mender and see if we get anything from them. Oh, yep, we're down to like the 70%. That's pretty far down for what I usually check. So the boss roped you into helping, did he? I know you couldn't say no. Alright, back to Turncliffe. I guess they're getting all they can out of this little spot they made. Ah, there they are. You're the one who piloted that warmach and defeated the sapphire weapon, aren't you? I thought so. I've heard so much about you, but I doubt you know who I am. My name is Alvinia. I grew up here and I stayed throughout the occupation and was put to work as a Magitech engineer. Next to you and yours, we're now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us will struggle to put the past behind us. For 10 long years, we suffered at their hands. A whole generation of young people were forced into the army and sent off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. My work here kept me away from the battlefield. I hope that my contributions might help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. But my efforts were in vain. I can at least honor their memory. I want to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they weren't forgotten. A monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I'll need to see the official list of conscripts. One still exists. It would be inside the Imperial facility beneath the town, but with the resistance troop and ironwork engineers closing the place off, I can't get near it. Perhaps you might have a word with them for me. I'll leave as soon as I find the list. Yeah, they'll probably make a way for us. Thank you, I'll follow your lead. Something I can help you with? I see, it's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in the Imperial's leavings, but it seems she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out investigations, we've put this place off to prevent anyone interfering. Considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. So I better go with her in case the others kick up a fuss. You're very kind. I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused. You have my thanks. Think nothing of it. I was glad to help. As I expected, the Imperials kept detailed records of the local conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend Massilia. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion of all places. How'd you know her? It all began when we were serving together in the 14th Legion. We had much in common, both being drafted from the same occupied territory. We soon became firm friends. Then one day she was sent to fight in Erzia, while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage. The youngest one, Recon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adopted father, Gallus and Bazar, before they departed. It's actually another of his orphans, Livia's Junius, who prevented them from seeing him. I can't say for certain, but it seemed like Lividia had a strong attachment to Gallus, and wouldn't let anyone else near them. As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length wherever possible, but her devotion to him was born on an obsession. She became extremely jealous of the slightest sign of affection between him and his other wards. Others, however, treated them far more kindly. In fact, a prefect Castronium of the 14th Legion came specifically to meet them. I was surprised that Rogedian had risen to such a rank. I was even more taken back by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I'd hoped that with people like him serving in the Erosian front, they would be in safe hands. Then the time came for Massilia to leave. We shared a few final words, and then she was gone. It would be the last I ever saw of her. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunius Lactoclavius of the 14th, Neurotol Scovia, and I worked on restoring the Ultima weapon. I was even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but I escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. Eventually made my way back to World, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Even now, it makes me sick to my stomach that I helped bring about those abominations into the world. Using a living pilot to feed the weapon's core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course, they never dreamed of subjecting a true-born Garlinian to such barbaric treatment, not when the 7th Legion has a ready supply of provincial conscripts ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred to only by their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still don't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project. Let's bring an end to the weapon project together. But what can I do? For years, I've only known how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion is far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. And when they do, it will bring naught but death and woe to all those that stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire, Miss Shirley would still be here. She was the kindest person I ever met, but to the Empire she was just another pawn in their games. I'll never forget her. There's a way I can make a difference, I know there is. But first I need to speak with members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that the war machina I used to beat the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. Till then, there's still time to make improvements, and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope that City and the others can wait a little longer. Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. I don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for you, until we meet again. Can't wait to go back to talking to the person at Garabania again. Let's head on back. This wasn't a very long quest, all things considered. And I believe the next one's another trial quest, so we're nearly at the end already. So how was your time in Turncliffe? Curious indeed. I see, fate has dealt her a cruel hand, but now she has a chance to make a fresh start. The same can be said of the whole of Turncliffe. It seems the liberation of that one small town will become a pivotal moment in world's history. Perhaps it won't be too long before the rest of the region is free from the Empire. Actually, I'd be honored to fight alongside the people of Walt. We won't rest until the Imperials are sent fleeing from their tails between their legs. Till that day arrives, we'll carry on doing our bit to support you and the others in ending the weapon project. I'll be sure to pass on any pertinent information. In the meantime, take care. Alright. I was expecting to see you here, consider all that's been happening at Orzia of late. Still, if you're in mind to assist us, we'd like to share the latest developments in World. As luck would have it, here comes the ideal person to explain the situation. Thanks, I'll take it from here. Oh, it's Minfilia. Or not Minfilia. I don't know why I said Minfilia. I'm glad to see you looking so well, Narn. Manigo, that's what I meant, yeah. Yes, it certainly has. I haven't seen you around Roger's Reach much lately, and one would think you're trying to avoid me. But as much as I'd love to sit around chatting, I'm afraid I have some serious business to discuss. Following the liberation of Turncliffe, it seems the people of World have also had their hearts set on freeing themselves from the grip of the Empire. Like-minded citizens have rallied under the banner of World revolutionaries, and they aim to dispose the 7th Legion that currently occupies the city. Their ranks include many former conscripts, and between them, they possess no small amount of combat experience. The only thing they lack is someone to lead them. After much consideration, they decided to turn to none other than Gaius Belsar, of course. Many would balk at the thought of turning to a former enemy, and many did, but desperate times calls for desperate members. His reputation as a Legedius speaks for itself, and as most Alimegans will attest, he was far more reasonable and pragmatic leader than his predecessor, the Mad Theodoric, or his successor Xenos, for that matter. But most importantly, he was the one who led the invasion of Wart in the first place, so who better than him to take it back? After accepting their offer, he requested the delivery of additional arms and provisions from the Alimegan resistance. We've got our hands full dealing with the Telephore, as do the rest of our allies in Orzia. We'll do what we can. While my comrades see to the preparations, I've been assigned to meet with him in person. I was wondering, could you accompany me to Turncliffe? Thanks, Narn. To be perfectly honest, coming face to face with the Black Wolf is a rather daunting prospect, even if he was supposedly turned over a new leaf. I'm sure having you there will be a world of difference. I believe you're acquainted with our escort, yes? Let him know when you're ready to go. I'm assuming we don't have too much longer to the next trial. Also, do I have anything in my inventory I need to get rid of at the moment? Oh, yep, I do. Got a 2 key card from the raid there. Oh, I just... some of this stuff. There we go. Okay, I already have a 2 key card. Maybe I can sell it? It's unsellable, so I can't do anything with it, so... okay. I also have that. Gotta get rid of that. Just trying to keep my stuff clear a bit. Can I just take that slot? Get that slot open. Alright, let's head back to Turncliffe. Ah, gas bells are, I presume. I come bearing the Alamegan Resistance official reply to your request for aid. I see, you have my thanks. Does this mean we can finally make our move? With the assistance of the Alamegans, we'll soon have sufficient arms at our disposal to stand a chance at victory. Lest we forget the 7th Legion have been conserving its strength thus far. It must be prepared for a severe casualty should its full might be brought to bear. If our lives must be the price of freedom, we will pay it willingly. Let me be clear, we Alamegans have not forgotten that it was you who led the invasion of our homeland. The blood of our fallen loved ones is on your hands. Even so, the people of Ralt chose you to lead the revolution, and we will honor their decision. I only hope that they will not come to regret it. As do I. Should I be found unworthy of their trust, I shall submit to their judgment and whatever they may entail. Forgive me, but might we return to the task at hand? First, I would like to discuss the transportation of supplies from Alamigo. This way, if you please. Once again, I prepare to lead an army into Walt. The irony is not lost on me. It is a cruel twist of fate that these people, so desperate from years of oppression, should turn to their conqueror for salvation. For most of my life, I believed that only the Empire possessed the strength and wisdom to lead mankind, that only through great sacrifice could civilization hope to thrive. And so I led the conquest of Eorzea, forcing the doctrine of Galamod upon the ignorant and uncivilized. In every territory I sought out those with the potential of greatness, without regard for one's birth or circumstances, that they may serve the Empire. But there are those such as Valens who see being born Garlania as a virtue in itself, but one above all others. I think that a monster such as him should be granted the position of legatus and everything that entails. It makes my blood boil. Valens brings shame upon our homeland and makes mock of the ideals it once stood for. By my hand he shall pay for his foul crimes. We're running out of time, guys. We have to go after her. There's something I would show you, but not here. Come with me. So it sounds like with the diamond weapon from the quest name, we're going to be fighting in the sky. I guess we haven't had one that fights in the sky so far. You must keep this to yourself. I do not want the soldiers to think I'm being distracted by personal matters. This letter was found in her room. Dear Father, I'm sorry for leaving without saying goodbye, but the thoughts of Alphonse suffering alone is more than I can bear. For his sake and the freedom of Walt, I've decided to take matters into my own hands. I know of a way to save them, a way to end it all. I have to seize this chance before it's too late. My mind is set. Please do not try to stop me, Father. The days we spent together were the happiest of my life, and no matter what happens, nothing can take that away from me. With all my love, Allie. She is heading for the Sun Legion's stronghold in Walt. I'm certain of it. Taking matters into her own hands. She must be planning to take control of one of the weapons. If so, there's no time to waste. We must mobilize our forces and save Allie and Alphonse. I want nothing more than to save them, but I cannot ask the revolutionaries to risk their lives to rescue 2 Imperial soldiers. In any case, if we rush into battle without adequate preparation, the 7th Legion would tear our partisan army to shreds. As capable warriors Narn is, if she were to charge headlong into the heart of the enemy, she would be overwhelmed by sheer numbers. But if we don't do something, Allie and Alphonse are as good as dead. I know, Severa, and so did Allie when she wrote that letter. Returning alive was never part of her plan. Can you hear me? I'm in Walt, just outside Castrum Colonium. All hells have broken loose. There was an enormous explosion through the soaking flames that saw what appeared to be another weapon. At this rate, the entire... Confound it, we have lost the signal. This must be what Allie spoke of in her letter, a way to end it all. Alphonse and the others are playing this from the beginning. To bring the weapon project to its completion, using to free Welch from the Empire, you have the cost of their own lives. If the revolutionaries were to hear that a weapon has been unleashed upon the Imperial headquarters, they would see it as a perfect opportunity to strike. If it's running amok, it may not distinguish between allies and Imperials. A large force would draw too much attention, but the 3 of us should be able to get close enough without it noticing us. Between us, we'll find a way to save them. I cannot allow it. This is my burden to bear, and I shall bear it alone. All of you know my record for surviving dangerous missions is impeccable so far. Very well. For the time being, I will have the revolutionaries stand by and wait my signal. An opportunity to reclaim Walt will present itself. But I first be allowed to remove the threat of this new weapon. Severa have sit ready the G-Warrior. Understood. Once your preparations are complete, let us reconvene outside the hangar. How wonderful it is to see you again, my dear. I was beginning to think that you weren't coming back. In my impatience, I may have vented my frustrations on that brother of yours. I do hope you'll forgive me. Lord Valens, you mentioned before the previous weapons were merely prototypes used to gather combat data within their cores. Yes, very good. I see you were paying attention after all. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. The promos they absorbed and the data they accumulated will serve a singular purpose. The completion of my masterpiece, the diamond weapon. But while you and your siblings were able to retrieve the necessary data from the Ruby weapon before Gaius and his lackeys arrived, Sapphire and emerald were handed to the enemy on a silver platter. Those worthless curs failed to meet even my exceedingly low expectations. As detailed in my report, I took it upon myself to infiltrate Gaz Belzar's band of rebels and reclaim the data. Yes, you've done well, my dear. My engineers have already finished feeding it to the diamond weapon. Then all that remains is for me to assume my role as pilot, and for you to release my brother and the rest of our compatriots, as per our agreement. Of course, a handful of savages is a small price to pay for your remarkable talents. Even though weapon project's revolutionary technology allows even an untrained pilot to fight with the skills of a veteran warrior, only the truly gifted can draw out the full potential of the synthetic orsite. In addition to their physical aptitudes and combat prowess, I require an unwavering loyalty before I can even consider entrusting a candidate with my creations. And you are everything I desire. I am honored that you hardly regard me so highly, Lord Valens. However, in return for my continued cooperation, I wish to propose an extra condition to our arrangement. I request that the people of Welt be given full imperial citizenship and the right to self-govern. My, how very bold of you, and quite astute at that. Yes, I could grant the people of Welt citizenship, if I so desired. Unfortunately, a mere legatus such as myself is in no position to simply relinquish control of imperial territory on a whim. Come now, we both know that weapons are but a means to an end. Your true intent is to march on the capital and claim it for yourself, correct? Once you have taken the throne, one small territory would seem a fair reward for those who played a vital role in the ascension of Emperor Valens. I say, for someone so sweet and innocent, you certainly drive a hard bargain. Very well, if it's what you want, it's yours. I'll soon have no need for this stinking backwater province anyway. And what about my brother? Ah, yes, Alwick? Or was it Alfred? Whatever his name is, you needn't worry. I made special arrangements for him. He'll be perfectly safe, provided you uphold your side of the agreement. Excellent. Now let's get you aboard the diamond weapon, shall we? One step closer to my coronation. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I know this isn't what Father would have wanted, but it's the only way. Please forgive me. Initiating the synthetic orsite system. All sensors activated. So far, so good. Diamond weapon codename Xenos. Commencing activation sequence. Behold perfection itself. Incendiad, Recon, Rex gave their lives, that others may live without fear. The orsite is taking hold. I'm just glad that you didn't have to go through this, Alphonse, but you'll have to go on without me. You and Father still must work together too. I'm sorry, I can't be there at your side. This is the only way. What's that, my dear? Something the matter? The diamond weapon is mine. Your tyranny ends here, Valens. Ill-born filth. If you think your low performance had me fool, you're sorely mistaken. What are you waiting for? Shut it down. It's not responding. That insolent whelp had me worried for a moment. Bring her to me alive, even if it means damaging the machine. Were my through with her, she'll beg for death. No, I can't let it end like this. Massilia Recon Rex, guide my hand. Alphonse, wherever you are, lend me your strength. Combat simple, ready. Initiating over mine, subject name. Overmind, what is that? This can't be. It's ignoring the shutdown signal and initiating overmind. But how? I don't care how. I'll stop the thing before it brings down the whole castrum. That's probably not good for Allie. Ready to depart. I'll send for Master Garlon. Well, we all expect another weapon to appear sooner or later, but not quite like this. According to the Valdenian, after it finished laying waste to the headquarters of the 7th Legion, it took to the sky. This has dealt a massive blow to the Imperial forces. I am certain that Allie is on board the weapon. It must be halted before she comes to harm, and for that I need the Tree Warrior and airships to transport it. I see that one thing hasn't changed since your days as the Black Wolf, your penchant for a gigantic war machina. But if this means the G-Warrior has another chance to shine, I'll be happy to oblige. Only this time, rather than having unceremoniously towed by airships, I have a more dynamic entrance in mind. It's good to see you again, Narn. From what I hear, we have you to thank for Alvenia and volunteering to help the Ironworks. Since she joined the team, our work has come leaps and bounds. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to finally put my knowledge and skills to good use. And as far as I can tell, your target is a diamond weapon, the most powerful of them all. What's worse is its design incorporates all the combat data and abilities of the other weapons, making it far more formidable than those you've encountered before. Thankfully, we've had time to prepare for such an occasion. Would you care to elaborate? Let me put it like this. Thanks to Alvenia's tireless dedication, the G-Warrior has been reborn. But there'll be time to explain more on the way. Come, the Enterprise is waiting. Very impressive, but may I ask what purpose it serves? Since our objective is to rescue the pilot, we've added a means of capturing the diamond weapon. We come to save lives, not to end them, and for that reason the G-Warrior has been reborn. I present to you the G-Saver. That's neat. Once again, Sid and his engineers have provided precisely what we required before we even do it ourselves. Due to the added complexity, we help Guy as pilot while Nard handles the various armaments. Agreed. There'll be little opportunity for us to grow accustomed to our roles, but even so, we must succeed at all costs. Now have the cloud deck. Alright. Okay, so we can go back to Turncliffe this way. You're off to save Mrs. foster siblings, Alphonse and Allie, aren't you? Please do whatever you can to bring them back safely. While you and Gaius deal with the diamond weapon, I'll be doing my best to aid Valentin in safe return from the vault. Hopefully he's taken advantage of the chaos to make good on his escape. I'll be monitoring the situation from the Enterprise. Should things take a turn for the worse, I'll be ready to intervene. Seems the controls are the same as the previous iteration, though it has been some time since I last piloted War Machina for Elegant Origin. Lack of practice is no excuse for failure. Alright, so with this, we'll be doing the diamond weapon fight next, and then I'm assuming it's going to be like one more quest for the ending, I guess. Okay, so we'll have to see how this goes. From what I heard, the diamond weapon fight's actually a bit harder than the previous two we've done already. So this will definitely be interesting.